Hold up, a throne is in the channel minute, man. YouTube legend, bro. A great afternoon to you, and I appreciate you making some time for your day, popping in the channel. The congregation is happy to have you. You're a legend, man. I'm happy to have you too. What's good?
You know, I appreciate the kind words. It's crazy to hear that. You know, earlier you said you're like one of the biggest names in the Madden community, dude. I've been around forever, and you know, it hasn't always been that way. So it's kind of cool to hear. But no, and in terms of flexibility or whatever, I'm basically just starting my day right now. Like I had alarms to wake up for because I was up super late last night for the.
I saw you got the Discord request at like 3 a.m. my time. I was like, there might be a time zone situation here. Does he know that we were like probably going to do this 10:30? I don't know.
No,
bro.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I'm just I run on China time a lot of the time. So I'm like nocturnal.
Demon hours.
Like, yeah, demon hours. So
what are you spending time doing? You got editing situation, you gaming? You're not grinding 22 right now, or 21, are you?
No, nothing. I'm chilling. I'm on work vacation right now. Basically, I try to say like I do as minimal work as possible right now. Like I try as the best I can to not think about Madden or YouTube right now. I mean, what do you know? Like I played a full weekend league last weekend off stream and off recording just because I just like didn't have anything to do.
Bro,
but yeah, I went out too. Yeah, no, but it's been good. No, I enjoy it. I'm starting to look for a little bit more purpose in my life, so I'm excited for Madden 22 to come out.
For sure. Did you catch the stream last night? Went way longer than I expected it to. Did you tap in for it?
No, I usually don't at all to that type of stuff, which is weird. I just know I don't know, whatever the best cards in the game are, I'm probably gonna have them on my team. Like I don't care much more than that.
Yeah, true indeed. It was a lot of dubs though. They had some like strategy card items. So it seems like you're like we're condensing scheme chems into like one card. So instead of like having to do them for 22 different spots, you could do them one at a time. That seemed like a dub. Card stats, that was the other one that seemed. At first I was like, I don't know of what use this is to me, but I mean, I guess you got opportunities.
So you can see how many rushing TDs you get with Derrick Henry, bro.
And then you could just travel defend Derrick Henry throughout the rest of the year and just be disgusted.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna like. I wonder if it'll make me hold on to cards longer because I want to get more stats with them. Probably not. I don't know how much I'll use it. I don't want to look at my like QBR or like how many picks I throw though. Like that's what I'm terrified of. That's
also true. I had to ask. I was like, is this? I was like, I think this is useless, but am I bugging? Everyone's like, nah, bro. You could flex. Like you could have a 69 power up that you go for 10,000 yards for and meme everybody with it. It could be hell.
Maybe or power them up and get all those yards with them, then power them down and keep them that way.
Ooh, swindle the whole situation. Throw, man. But again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you making some time in your day, your just starting day, to sit down and talk with us here. What I've been trying to do with these Fen Talks is like we get a certain sense for guys like you that are well known. Like you said, it might be strange for you to hear, but the truth indeed, one of the biggest names in the Madden community, and hopefully it still feels good for you to hear that. But we have this idea of you as an entertainer, as a content creator, and sometimes you don't really have occasion to talk about the path that you walked, like where are you from, like experiences that might have contributed to whatever it may be, the work ethic, or like how you kind of figured out the right moves to make to put yourself in the situation that you're in now. So that's what I've been trying to provide the opportunity to do for guys like you to like give us a little bit about the background, like a little bit about the path that you walked, admirers top to bottom in the channel, even small streamers and content creators, guys like me, trying to recreate your success. So we're trying to give us all your trade secrets for free as quickly as you can, please, and go. But nah, bro. I mean, we can start from the beginning, bro. Where are you from? What's like the family home? Like you got siblings? What was it like growing up in the Throne household?
Yeah. So I'm a farm kid. I'm from Iowa. Was born in Minnesota. A lot of people do think I'm Minnesotan. I'm not really at all. I didn't live in Minnesota till the past year. I got a little bit of a Minnesota accent though, but I didn't live in Minnesota at all till the past year, but everyone always thinks I'm Minnesotan because I'm a Vikings fan. Nope, I'm from Iowa, from a farm. I had 4 siblings, so I was the second of 5, and so I have 3 brothers, so we just played sports outside growing up like our whole lives. Like video games weren't a huge thing, and then both parents together. I'm super close with my family. Like my older brother has 2 sons and a daughter now that are all just the cutest and funniest. And then my 1 year younger brother is married and it's actually coming up on his 3-year anniversary here in like a month, which is crazy. 'Cause I'm like single as hell right
Not there,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, no, like not there at all. And he's a year younger than me. He's 24. I'm 25, so I was class of 2014 in high school.
Cool. Nice.
Yep.
So what do you get into? So what are you getting into in high school? You playing sports? You said games not really a thing. A house full of brothers that like competitions got to start early. What type of things are you good at from early?
Yeah, baseball. Baseball is the sport. I had a conversation with someone about this the other day. How much did I actually like the sport of baseball, and how much did I like being good at baseball? Because I think I was more obsessed with the idea of it being a part of my identity and being good at it. Because that was my sport growing up. Played a lot of basketball. Wasn't as good at it. I did football my junior and senior year. That was my worst sport by far. Of course, if you look at the way I'm built. Then I ran track my junior and senior year. And that was cool. Had the opportunity to run at state track even with that, so that was really great. But I went to a small town or like high school in a small town in Iowa, like graduating class of 48. So I got to do anything.
No kidding, 48?
Yeah, really small. Yeah.
So baseball then kind of like more of like your sports identity. Were you like successful with it? Did you do anything afterwards? Did you wind up going to college like for it after? Did you carry on at all?
No, I was super close to going to college. My dream was always to play D1 baseball, and I was not in that position leaving high school. So I wanted to go JUCO and then try to at least play like D1 or even D2. And basically last second, like I visited RCTC community college in Rochester. They had a decent JUCO program, and I visited them, and it was really great. And then I went to like visited Iowa State for my option for just schooling. I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. And I decided to go to Iowa State. I don't know why I chose that at the time. I really don't know. There weren't like, I don't know. I just remember it was close, but I'm really happy I did. Like I respect all the D1 athletes out there like yourself. I don't know how people do school and athletics. It's insane to me. I couldn't have handled that type of workload and graduated. So I just went to Iowa State and studied aerospace for a semester. It was cool. Ended up switching to civil engineering, which was much for me. And I graduated with that. And I don't think I'll ever use my degree.
Bro.
But yeah, no, sports are great. I was huge into sports. I didn't play them post high school.
Fair enough. But I have felt the same about like the way I kind of stumbled upon my college career. It was like more or less like a last minute thing. But like looking back on it, it's like exactly where I needed to wind up. It sounds like you had a pretty good college experience then too. Oh
yeah, no, I loved it. Yeah, no, I had a few close friends in high school that ended up going to my college as well because I stayed in state. I stayed a Hawkeye fan, even though I went to Iowa State. I still do love the Cyclones, but somehow was able to, still able to remain a little bit loyal. Upsets a lot of people, but yeah, no, college is great. Sometimes I wonder, I wish I could go back and like live in the dorms like another year. Just like relive that.
Bro, I think about it frequently. So as the competitive hassle with your brothers, like you guys are doing stuff outside constantly, there must have been a point at which like video games really like came into the fray. I would assume, just based on what I know about you and your trajectory with Madden and whatnot. But where did that come into play in your life, like in the sense that it is now?
Yeah, I remember it was my freshman or eighth grade year of my life. Christmas, my parents got me an Xbox, and I didn't really ask for it. And I remember being like relatively upset at them. I was like, "You guys just wasted money on this, and I'm never gonna use it."
Like I needed this $300 bat. You were probably shopping Vapor or so. What kind of bats were you looking at the time? 8th grade.
Oh my gosh. Pretty much every year I only swung one bat, and it was different. Like I swung an Easton S1 my sophomore year. Swung
tight.
What did I swing my junior year? I swung a lot of 3330s, and then my senior year I swung some DeMarini bat. But yeah, no, I don't know. I've never been like a huge bat guy either. I really haven't. Like I'll look at them and be like, oh, nostalgia. Like cool. I miss the BESR bats. The ball would just fly. But I played BB Core in high school my final 3 years, so I don't have the nostalgia about the bats. They're all ass. Like they're the similar ones today.
It's true indeed. So not a bat though. You got the Xbox 8th grade. You're kind of like, bro, what
yeah,
is this?
No, I look back at it and I'm like, okay, I don't think it was like out of a position of like being spoiled to be upset about it. It was more, I was just like, I'm not going to use this. Like it wasn't about me getting something else. It was more, I was just didn't want to waste my parents' money because that was a big deal. And what do you know? The next year I got, like, I played video games a lot of my life. You know, MVP Baseball, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. Got huge into Roller Coaster Tycoon. That was why I decided to be a civil engineer in college. I wanted to design roller coasters.
No kidding, is that so? I also spent a lot of hours on Roller Coaster Tycoon, but like the original, the first one, running all clunky on the laptop.
The second's the best one. That one's the best. There's so much flexibility in that game. I played the hell out of that game. But yeah, no. Then I got. My freshman year of high school, and I wasn't out for football. My first year not doing a fall sport, and I got super into Madden 11 team play, like just playing with random people online. Yeah, Madden 11
team play.
Team play.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. No, I was like a QB and defensive back on the game. It was so fun.
Were you playing with your boys or randoms?
Occasionally my boys, but like mostly randoms. Like I would literally like type in the chats to like they had like lobbies, and I'd find teammates, and it just, oh my gosh, the egos of playing squads with random people, and everyone would be on the mic.
I was gonna ask, is this where kind of like some throne like ism like started to develop here early on? Like you're starting to cultivate a little bit of this, I'd imagine.
Probably did, yeah. But then I did also play a little bit online. I was like 40 and 36 or something like that, running like halfback slip screens, and I had some like A-gap blitz I found on YouTube. I just if you ran like shotgun, you just get sacked.
Still a winning record, bro. Still counts.
Yeah, no, and I thought I was fucking hell. Like I thought I was so good. And then I would like lose to people. I'd be like, I don't even understand how they're better than me. Like
it's impossible. This shouldn't be right, dude.
I just had some A-gap blitz that just like came through every time. It's on YouTube. It's still out there. It's just some blitz where you spy your linebacker and just run through the A-gap.
Like an actual nano blitz, because people be saying
like a literal nano blitz,
like an actual nano blitz, right? Yeah,
like an actual one.
Because that used to mean something different.
Well, it's similar to what user rushing is now. How user rushing, you can get to come in pretty hot. Now it's just it was only sending 3 instead of 5, or it's 3 instead of 5, or I guess 4 instead of 6 if you include the user. But yes, I never even lurked like I never even like actually tried to use a route. I just ran at the QB. That's all I did. But yeah, no. So I started playing a lot of Madden, and it wasn't even my game. I don't know. It was my 1 year younger brother Matt. It was his game, and one day. I came home from school, and he was going to go stay the night at a friend's house, and it was like a Friday, and I found out he was like going to take his Madden game, and I was like, you can't do that. Like I'm the one that plays this. You never play it. He's like, well, it's my game. Sorry.
You're not going to do this to me.
With him and let him take it. And my night was like ruined. Like I didn't know what to do. I've been playing it every day for like 2.5 months. And like, no, video games were a huge part of my life at that point.
And then the hooks were in. So ever since you tasted that absence in your life, bro, that game wasn't there when you needed it that Friday night. And ever since, man, you've been locked.
Yeah, no, I haven't had many situations like that. I guess then I got really addicted into, or got really into Black Ops 1. My parents finally started letting me play shooting games. I got really into BO1, went back and played MW2, and then played every COD. And that's when YouTube kind of started to become a thing. I started to find like my favorite Call of Duty YouTubers like Chris Smoove and Fear Crads, the Marka J, like guys like that, XJaws. And I was like, you know what, this would be like really fun. Like, let me try this. So I asked my parents for an Elgato, or no, sorry, for a Hauppauge HD PVR 2. They didn't know what it was. I did end up getting it for Christmas. Like the only thing I asked for, and I got it.
Nice.
And yeah, no, and they didn't even know what it was. I tried my best to like, no, like don't ask me.
Right.
Because I was gonna try to make YouTube videos by myself, and you know, sure enough, they didn't get any views, and they're really embarrassing. They're still on my channel. Some of the people in the chat have probably seen some of them. I showed one on my charity stream of like a song I wrote back in 2000. This is like 2012, 13. Wow. Like embarrassing shit.
Yeah. Is it it's still up?
It's like unlisted. I have it.
You got. I have it
on my. It's on my charity stream now because I played it on my charity stream, and that's the only existence of it on the. I will never show it again. That'll never get shown again. It's horrible.
I mean, bro, you gotta crawl before you walk. But I didn't know that.
I want to be like Chris Move.
So it was like the COD that actually drew you over to YouTube in the first place. And is that where you started? Were you producing COD content?
I was, yeah, for years. And then I did some Ultimate Team. I would just do giveaways, and then I would rip like the back in the day in Madden 13, that was my first Ultimate Team I played.
Yeah.
And I didn't play the game online. Actually, I literally only built a team. Like I was one of those guys, which I know are still out there today. Like I was one of you.
A lot, plenty, yeah,
a lot,
a real lot.
Play online. And yeah, no, I would just build a team, but then I would rip like legend bundles with coins and try to make my coins back. But like you couldn't like click left bumper to search cards in the auction house. So I would literally have to take a notebook and write down every card and every value, and I'd look them all up. And then if I like made profit, but there wasn't even 10% tax then. So like you actually like could make some profit on them. Yeah. But I just thought it was so fun to rip packs. Yeah, never pulled anything.
Well, I mean, and if you're going coin packs to try to turn a profit, like it's pretty much built in that you're gonna fail in that effort most times, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it was typically pretty close. It was enough to keep me afloat and keep doing them. But like I would just snipe.
The 10% tax being out is a big difference too.
Oh yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, I would just snipe and build my team, and that actually stayed for 25. I finally started playing a little bit online in 25.
Okay.
A little bit in 15. And then 16, again, just a little bit online. It was literally every year I just sniped. So that was when Madden 17 rolled around. I decided to invest some money when I was in college. It was my third year of college. I was like, you know what? Let me get like a webcam and a microphone, and let me try to take this thing seriously and do Madden. I like took a break. And by the way, I definitely took years off playing video games, like where I basically didn't play at all.
Right. What was the super early like YouTube trajectory? Were you kind of just like putting up videos just kind of like for the fuck of it, just like to put it up and like really not a whole heck of a lot going on? Was it like frustrating to you, or like did it leave a bad taste in your mouth?
Oh,
or like, you
no.
kind of just didn't really care about it at that point?
No, I didn't care. It was just I just knew that's what it was. I thought that's the way it would always be, to be honest. Like it's so hard to get influence on the internet, and everybody that started with zero kind of knows that.
Of course. I think that's important though, to like hear from a guy like you who also had to do like that. Might not be something that would come up
years.
Yeah, that's huge. So I got to hear notepads scratching here. Taylor Throne, you got to go through the struggle. Sorry to interrupt though, brother.
Oh no, you're good. No, 100%. I was small for a really long time. I started in December 2012, and I didn't start making like real Madden content, like with my face on the screen, until Madden 17 in that fall. And I made a video on overpricing. It was this idea that I had where like you could buy base elites back in Madden 17.
Yeah. Like
the cheapest base elite, like Adrian Peterson.
Right.
And you could sell them for like many thousand coins more, like just because people didn't know how to filter the auction house back then.
Right.
Because they would like go type in like elite running back and just go buy like what they thought was the best value, but it wasn't
like 24 minutes left on the auction. Like
yeah, with like literally like with like 7 minutes left. Yeah, right. Exactly that. Exactly that. So because if they're good value, they're not going to make it that long.
Right.
And I just started making like a ton of coins doing that, and I made a YouTube video on it, and that was my first video. It's like I think my second video of doing YouTube seriously. It kind of popped off. I got like 60K views on it.
No kidding.
And that was really good.
Off of essentially a coin method at that point.
Video. Yeah. So I was known for, and I was still using the D line at that time. So
nah. In 17.
Yeah. The beginning of 17.
Listen, man. Start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah. That was the year that I really started to like play the game, and I was still I was a shitter. I was the original barber. It was great. If any of you guys have seen how I played back then, I ran triple option every play. It's like I had a gadget scheme that and that was when I started. At least I would like beat some people on like ladders, and I was like, oh, I'm decent enough to beat people like in this game. I just ran nickel blitz and triple option. So like, I mean, I had a gadget offense and like the best defense of the game. Just like I'm probably gonna beat people. And obviously that was the year that I played Kiv. But no, I ended up getting good at that game, but I wasn't a good Madden player.
Right,
wasn't a good Madden player at all. And people sometimes say that like, oh, like you made an event, but no, like I was horrible. I just, if I had a scheme like that, like I was unstoppable on offense for the most part. Like the first time I played everybody, they would really struggle to stop me. So, like I played Madden for money that summer a lot, and I definitely lost a lot of money trying to become a better Madden player. But I beat a lot of people too. And, But Madden 17, I played the hell out of that game, and that was when I started getting some YouTube views. I think I went from 500 subs to maybe 3,000, 4,000 that year.
That's big. Starting at 17.
But I would have just always quit. I would always like, whenever I'd start getting views, I would just I would quit YouTube. Like I would stop. I would take like months off. I just think it was always, I always wanted to be a big YouTuber, and that was like my goal, and I thought it would be fulfilling, and like it's so out of your control, it feels like, trying to blow up on the internet.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting for it, or like, I don't know. I thought it would maybe just get rid of my problems. Like I'd be happier. And whenever I would get views, it wouldn't change anything.
Because then big is still not big enough. And then the scale changes and it's going to be all relative from there. It's, I mean, it must be exhausting.
I think that's how I feel now. Even then though, I didn't care about the growth thing. It was just, it didn't change me. Where now it's more like it's my job. So I care about growth.
Sure.
Because I want to be doing better and try to set myself up better.
For sure.
But no, at the time I just realized, I was like, no, it wouldn't help at all. So I would just take a step back from YouTube and stop uploading. It happened every year for me, and it still kind of happens. My best time this past year, I took a month off YouTube. I took a month off this past October. I don't know how else to say it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. I don't think that like more achievement or like success like that, I don't think fulfills you. At least it doesn't fulfill me. So have you felt in some ways maybe disappointed about that? Do you think in like your search for what you thought this was going to be, and maybe it feels a little different than you thought it would in your approach to it? Oh yeah. And it took me a long time to recognize that was like something that like it's just never going to be fulfilling to me in that aspect. Like, I mean, even when I was small in Madden 17, I would see the way people would, W would have like streams, or Prob would have streams, and the way other players and YouTubers would get mentioned. It was that way for years, where the other YouTubers that were mentioned weren't me. The other players that were mentioned weren't me. My name was just, I was going by TT23 at the time. The reason why was so people couldn't find me online if they typed in my first and last name.
Oh shit.
I didn't want people finding my YouTube channel. Like I wanted that to be as off the grid as possible.
Wow.
Where now it's like, yeah, no.
Please find it.
Yeah, now it kind of is. And not that I love it, but like it's just the way it is now. Right. Oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
We're talking about how it wound up feeling a little bit different, and like you were realizing more that it's maybe feels less fulfilling than you thought.
Yeah, and even when it started to, my name started popping up on podcasts, or started popping up in Twitch chats or like stuff like that. That didn't feel any better either once people were kind of talking about me in the community.
Because then it's almost like you're too late. Like you should have been on this. Like you should have been treating me right in the first place.
Oh no, not even like that. No, not even like that. It's just like, I just think I always thought like that attention would be cool. And then when I had it, I was like, okay, this isn't as cool as I thought it is. I don't know.
You.
Just everything, like the grass is always greener. Like you just always want things.
True indeed.
And yeah, no, they're not truly fulfilling. At least not to me. So.
What do you do with that now, though? Because like now from a third party, like, I'm looking at you like kind of already having maybe in some way. Well, I guess even that is a misconception. Like, and even in the way that I was going to frame that question to you is almost unfair in asking the question. Like, it's on the way out of my mouth. Like, well, from the top of the mountain, like, what do you mean it's not fulfilling? But yeah, I guess the better question is, how do you move forward now that it is your job? That it is, something you have to take note of, and metrics that you're going to want to realize to, continue to do better, with this knowledge that you've realized can hold you back at some points, that it's not, it doesn't fill you up like you thought that it might. Can you still stay motivated and forward looking even with that knowledge?
Yeah, I think I still do like value the game of YouTube in terms of growing that way. I think I will say it is a little bit wrong for me to say it's not a little bit fulfilling in terms of.
Sure, and I didn't mean to frame it like that either. Fair enough. Gotcha.
No. But like, I don't know. I just didn't mean for it to sound as cynical as it did. But just that was why I just took breaks back then. Sure. I would recognize like, okay, I'm getting kind of what I wanted now. I'm getting more attention. This isn't as cool as I thought.
Yeah.
And I would just step back. But where now there are times, I guess, I don't know, I value growth, and my goal is just to set myself up and my family as best as I can while I have this time doing this. I don't know how long I'll be doing it. Hopefully a while. but I don't got control over that. So, yeah, no, I'm still motivated by the game of YouTube, trying to make better thumbnails, trying to be creative, set trends, or follow them, or jack them.
Right. Because, I mean, we keep hearing from guys like you that their algorithm is still a mystery, even like on your end, and even after however many years you've spent like trying to learn the game and like learn the secret language, the hieroglyphics that is this algorithm that y'all got to figure out. Do you feel like you have a better grip on it now, or is it still ever changing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a way better grip on it now, in my opinion. I watched the Xerxes podcast, and he kind of said he didn't have a clue, or like people don't have a clue.
That's what he was indicating, yeah.
I'll say that YouTube does surprise me a lot, but it's not as like, it's not like Clueless. Mysterious. Like, right. Mysterious. Yeah, like there have been so many times where I've made good videos, like particular videos, and I've told my friends or like that I'm like, this video is gonna be, it's gonna be a really big video. Yeah. There have been times where they'll flop. Like, don't get me wrong. Like where I'm like, oh, like, and we're like, what happened here? Was this not as interesting?
I thought this was gonna be great.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna pop off, which like that happens. But there are a lot of times where me and my friends can, I think, pretty accurately decide whether a video is gonna pop off or not. Like at least the super banger ideas that you have. Right. You have to know, like. Right. You've got to. I mean, YouTube is just like get people to click on the video and get people to watch it for as long as possible. Like it's really those two things. And if a video is really good and is a really good idea with good title, good thumbnail, it's gonna pop off. For sure. Yeah, I don't know. What kind of help? You were mentioning like how other people are involved in some of the things, like, you know, like the boys like kind of know like what's going to pop off and what's not. What are you, if you don't mind sharing, like what are you like outsourcing or using other people for? Like, is somebody like you employing an editor? Do you have like a thumbnail guy? Have you pooled in resources and like kind of gotten a little crew together to help with what you're doing? Or are you still taking most of this, you know, the brunt of the work on your own? Yeah, so I try to outsource literally everything that I can because I'm a lazy person when it comes to things that I don't want to do. I think I'm not lazy when it comes to things I really do want to do. Like I can be very passionate about things, but not good at doing dirty work or like things that are like chores. So I still do all my own thumbnails. It's hard for me to like sacrifice any of my creative like hold over that. So I try to do all the thumbnails that I can. I like that. But I do have a full-time editor right now. Okay. His name's Prince Prodigy. People in the chat actually might be familiar with him. He's been around YouTube for a while, editing for people. You know, he's great. I love him. Best turnaround time ever, and he's always on call. He's awesome. I love him. Hell yeah. Really good relationship with him. And then my 1 year younger brother works full-time for me, and he started probably like 6 months ago or so, and it's been kind of a hard time to employ him because it's kind of been the dead time of the season where he's supposed to be running more my second channel and helping with TikToks and stuff like that, where oh my gosh, Madden died off early this summer. So we're about to start really diving into what our plan is going to be for launch of Madden when we get the game on the 11th, everybody, because we're getting it on the 11th, not the 12th. Yikes. We get it the day before. EA Play every year, but somehow every year people forget and write the wrong day. We get it the day before, damn it. I'm going to New Zealand. And then my mom does some like secretary work for me, which turns out to be it's always hard when I hate talking about that, because it's either like when in terms of like sometimes I'll like mention like, oh, my mom like did this for me or something like that, and I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, I can either be pretentious as fuck and tell them that it's because my mom works for me, or I can look like I'm a 25-year-old whose mom does simple shit for him.
Yeah, you gotta know that's a no-win situation, bro.
It is no win ever.
Very bad.
Ever. So
administrative assistant, maybe. All the time. Maybe basically, an administrative assistant.
So I try to have her do as much as possible to try to get value from her, but she's in payroll. And then she does customer service for the website that I run, Hot Rod Tips. So, nice, which is a huge help. So those are kind of the three people. And then I have friends in my corner. I've seen Civil is in the chat. Kenny, Kenny's someone I've talked to every day for the past year plus. But my circle, I'd say, my close circle is really small. Yeah. In that regard.
For sure. Dope, man. So, like, what's your experience of the last few years of the game, Ben? You alluded to, like, this year you found that it really died off pretty early. I guess, like, really starting like 19, 20 to 21, there was a trend. Like, COVID, of course, like happened right in there, and like that I think affected what viewership was available and what people were spending time doing. And I'm curious, like, what your personal experience was, kind of riding the wave from 19 to the run heavy, but also everyone at home. 20 that nobody really wants to watch, but people are watching a lot of, into 21, maybe like a better game, maybe as far as like its appeal to passers, and you got the current gen, next gen thing. But I mean, what's the ride been like, starting like around like 19?
Yeah, so 19, I think I had 30,000 subs at the end of 19. So I still was taking YouTube, so I didn't give a shit. I just uploaded whatever I wanted to. Yeah. It wasn't until 20 when I went YouTube full time, which, by the way, my second YouTube video of going YouTube full time was a 1.4 million view YouTube video. So talk about good timing. Holy shit. Yeah, that was the turning point. It was that,
for sure.
I played K-Mac and Madden 20 at the launch when he was ranked number 1 and I was like number 11th or 30th, I don't remember, and we were both on like 55 and 35 game win streaks.
Wow.
So like it was like a big deal, and he was ranked number 1, and then we had like a crazy game.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, I played that game in my underwear, sitting in my room. Like, I did a fake live com for that because it was such a good game. I was like, I've got to do this, and it's going to be such a good video. That was an example where everyone I talked to was like, this video is going to bang. Like, you have to do it. You have to fake a live com.
You went back for the live com on a legendary primary video?
Yeah, I hate it.
You don't like that?
Well, it's funny. But
it's attention to detail, bro. I mean, it can't be that disingenuous. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think that's a dub.
No, I hate that video.
Really?
I hate it. I hate watching myself back, like, already. And that one where it's like all acting. Oh, right. I freaking hate that video. I never watch it back.
Everyone's going to go back for it now to see how bad it actually was. Now that they know.
Yeah, there are parts where like you can see like I take my like hand off the camera or off the controller too early and stuff like that. But anyway, that was the first time I started having influence. Like,
and that was in 20. So that video was kind of like, one of your rises to to the platform that you have now.
Yeah, it would be about 2 years ago exactly. Like, I think on this day would be when that video was uploaded.
No kidding.
So, yeah, it's recent.
That's dope.
Yeah, 19. I just made enough off like selling ebooks to like justify doing, and I had a coin sponsor then, like for like a very minimal amount, to like pay my rent. Like, I graduated college like $30 or something.
You hear Xerxes telling us about getting scammed by not scammed, but getting the raw deal on the coin sponsors over and over again. He would like sign at X amount and then like blow that out of the water. And
no, Xerxes values security in life. Like, if I had to like say anything, just Xerxes in general values security. So it doesn't surprise me that every year he is just like trying to lock it in for as long as possible. Right. I've always done the opposite of that. I try not to like take anything. I don't even know what my deal is for this year. Like, it starts in like 2 weeks. I think ScoMo behind the scenes knows what it is, but I really don't got a clue.
He hasn't let me know yet.
I'm gonna upload videos and add it to it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Jeez. Like, shoot. But yeah, no. There was a time at 20 though when COVID started. I remember everybody that was like more casual with YouTube would be like, "Oh, you guys got to be loving it, man. Views are so up. I bet everybody's watching from home." And it was maybe just my channel was doing poorly, but I was like, "Oh, views are not up at all. This is terrible, and my money's gone." Like, wow, my RPM got cut in like a fifth or something.
So that was not your experience with COVID.
Oh, it was. Well, no. It's like it changes here in a second, but it was horrible. Oh, that was so bad. I made no money. I almost had to start going to go pick up shifts at Chipotle to pay rent.
We hate that. No.
Yeah, I was terrified. But then viewership did start picking up. It just wasn't like immediately. I did start to notice. I was like, oh, Twitch viewership's up a lot. Oh, YouTube, like my second channel was doing really well at that time, which is insane now looking back at it, because everybody's had a hard fall off this year. You went from like one end of the extreme to the other, where now, in my opinion, everybody is trying to get out and do things and do the traveling that they wanted to do now that they're vaccinated, and go to like ball games now. And plus the show being cross console, like the show is really big this year.
Huge.
I felt DoorDash thrown. Jeez. Yeah, but it went from one side of the spectrum to the other. The only difference is like last year we didn't we didn't make much money during it.
Yeah.
Those RPMs didn't bounce back fully for a long time.
What sprung
now
Throne
they're
2?
pretty darn good.
Was it MLB that sprung Throne 2? Because I've also just learned about this from talking to you guys, that like the logic behind a second channel. Because I never really understood that. Why not just hoard everything? But it makes sense now. You know, I guess like penetration percentage. Yikes! That was the best way I could think. You know what I'm talking about, right? So you broke the second channel off about the penetration and the percentage in the thing. Why did you make the second channel, bro?
So mine was a very specific reason. I'd seen like and mine was only Madden. I've only done Madden there basically. So it's Madden on both. My thinking was like Flight was getting to be so big on his channel, and everything was like, or like a lot of big streamers had stuff labeled in third person of like off their streams. So my idea was to make a second channel with literally as dog shit of content as possible, like those channels. Like, I'm not even kidding. And like take like a full game and not edit it at all and just say Throne loses his fucking mind versus Weekend League Idiot, and just see if people would watch. And, and it like blew up. And
that's prime internet, bro. That's gonna be the stuff that works out. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
I know. And like now it's obviously I'm the one that runs it. It's so like I feel like an egotistical fuck, like titling everything in third person.
That's
but
terrible.
yeah, no, I hate doing it because it like makes me. It's trying to make myself bigger than I am. That like, no, nobody's not running this channel on me. Like, but I get the money at least. But so that was my thinking. Was I wanted to be like get bigger on, or sorry, I wanted to be able to justify more money or more time spent streaming. I'd be able to further monetize it, and then I would have that extra discoverability of, hey, this is literally from my stream. Like, if you want to see me do this, go over to Twitch. Which, by the way, I am coming back to Twitch for this year. I think.
You think?
So, yeah, I think. I mean, I'm gonna play DMCA music, and I got no Twitch strikes or DMCA copyrighted music, and I have all my Twitch strikes. Like, so like,
dude, I don't know.
If
man.
you give me one, I'm cooked. Like, I don't care. I'll just go back to YouTube again.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I don't know. You got more bodies, but have never had a stream without copyrighted music. I'm not even gonna say the whole rest of it. Knock on wood, but we've been okay so far. So maybe Twitch, but maybe not.
Very, very high likelihood. I just don't. I want to get back into streaming a lot. I would, then I would like to get back to my second channel. Used to be just literally non-edited stuff. I forgot to say, like the thumbnail I would try to make it look like it wasn't an edited thumbnail at all, or like a terrible edited thumbnail. So, but it really was, because I would like grab a moment from the game that looked interesting and grab like my most expressive face from the game and like put the two together. So it wasn't an actual like screenshot from the video, but it would kind of look like it. So it was meant to look more like amateur, or like
it was terrible and sufficient both.
Yeah, but I didn't obviously want to do that type of stuff on my main channel, because my main channel is like actual like quality uploads, like stuff that time is put into. Like I put a lot of time into thumbnails and titles and editing, and Throne 2 wasn't that way. And
that other people feel good about too.
Yeah, and so it just became a meme that like Throne 2 is better than Throne, and that they're two different people. I don't know why, but people think that's just the funniest thing ever.
That's wild how that works out, bro.
Yeah, no, but that was one of my favorite, or probably one of the better decisions I've made in my content creator journey, was to start that channel.
Wow,
because it's been huge for me to be able to further monetize myself.
Was that after the big K-Mac video in 20 that was kind of like a springboard for you? Did the second channel come after that, or were you already running beforehand?
It was when I got unbanned on Twitch, because I got banned on Twitch in Madden 20. I was suspended for like 90 days.
What'd you do?
It was my third strike. I took donations to Shotgun White Claws on stream. And I fully knew it was against terms of service, and I just didn't care.
Yeah, facts.
I made like $800 though.
I mean, fuck, you get to take that home with you, bro. That 800 comes home.
A lot of money other than that.
True indeed, man. Yikes. Pennywise, dollar stupid, I think they call that one. They take the 800 and run, though. Come on, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so it was more of like just my thought process of like when I had all that time of not streaming.
And you said how long was it? Sorry, did you mention how long it was?
Like 90 days.
90 days.
But then my previous two is I had Siwoo on a stream one time back in Madden 19 when we had beef. Oh, it was so funny. We played like 7 games in one night, and he was banned on Twitch at the time, so he can't be on streams. And then my first one was like a Madden 18 weekend league. I like had like when I had like 20 viewers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Very tight knit community. Oh, the best days ever.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Like I would play all 25 of my games on a Thursday, and at the end I would have like 11-minute searches, like because it was like in the summer. I'd be at like game 24, like 7 hours into weekend league. Yeah, but after one of my streams, I was like, it would be so funny to just go on Omega and chat roulette right now. I just did it, and there's just a lot of old man pelvises.
Yeah, a lot of wiener.
Naked pelvises. Yeah,
that's tough.
And we just thought it was so funny. But then I switched to just chatting, and I kept getting more and more viewers. And I had people were like, clip that. And what do you know? I was just offline, and like very quickly.
That's terrible.
So my three strikes are like. They're like very spread out and like really random. I'm an idiot. I wish I could just have them wiped clean. Like I'm not a bad guy, dude.
So now is it like, bro? If we let you back in here, you do one single thing that we don't like, and we're done. What's the status of the account right now?
It's indefinite every time. The last one was indefinite, and it was 90 days. So I got it back. It was like 90. Maybe it was a little longer. But
okay.
But it's indefinite, so it could be like 6 months. I would bet it's probably 6 months if I get banned again. So if you guys want to sit in my stream and wait for me to call someone a bad name or something, the V word or whatever.
Enjoy me while it lasts.
Enjoy me while it lasts, because that word is probably gonna get dropped.
There's an I word. There's an I word. I didn't even know about
there is an I word.
I didn't even know what that meant. I had to learn that when I came across this, that, and the third thing are banned. I was like, I'm 2 out of 3 here. What the fuck? In INCEL apparently is can't say that shit.
I think you can say it, but you can't say it at somebody. I think you can call yourself it though.
Okay.
I think I can call myself it.
I could say that I'm involuntarily celibate. That shit is so fucking hell, bro.
Wait,
that shit is so hell.
Is that what it's?
Yes, bro. It's involuntarily celibate. Smashed
That's
together.
So clever.
Yes.
I love that. I never liked that word until now.
Yeah. And it was funny learning that it was banned, like put it suddenly at the tip of my tongue. I had never heard of it before. I had never seen it written. I didn't know what it meant. And suddenly, upon learning that I can't say it, it's right here. It's just right here.
Oh,
it's so good.
No. Yeah, no, that word's moving up in my book. I knew what it meant, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
like, 'cause I just always think of like, I don't know.
Yeah, you think of one of them. You think of one of those.
I think of one of them. But yeah, no. But I could see myself calling someone that's run level sale for the 7th time in a row and guest passed for the 7th time in a row and is 7 for 7 for 89 yards.
Yeah, let's maybe not do that. We got to keep Throne alive on Twitch for a little bit longer. So 20 had a great year. Got the ban, sucks, but spawned this second channel, which you said was one of the biggest parts. What was the transition? So 20 fucking to the moon, Throne to the moon, price is high, everything dope. What was your experience then as 20, changed to 21 in the transition of the year there?
Such a hard transition.
Yeah.
I actually just went back and looked at my Twitch analytics. My first maybe 10 days on Madden 22 were so good, and it just fell off a cliff. And I remember it being like, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of why I stopped streaming. I was like, it just gave me stress. Like, because as a creator, like your life's so, when you put as much value into being a creator like I do, which is bad in the first place, it shouldn't be my identity. Like I should be more myself rather than what I do. Like, but your life starts to be like, or your value gets quantified, and when that quantity drops, like you feel like you're like doing a worse job, or like you take like a lot of, or it like just doesn't feel good. So I kind of stopped streaming there. So I'm very selfish in that regard. Like I can't get that out of my head. But like I knew viewership was gonna get worse, but it got bad. And then my YouTube videos, I started having ones flop. Like I had videos flop that were the worst I'd had in the year. Did a video on college overtime rules. I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a fun video. I just played like 30 fast-paced games. Thought it was such a good video. Had a really cool moment in it. Pretty decent thumbnail, kind of different from my normal style. But I was like, this is gonna be good. And it just flopped. Like it was like it's like 55K views now. So it's like, it's fine, but it was like a 50K view at the time, I guess. Yeah. And that was pretty much half of what I was normally getting. I was like, oh, this could be really bad. And then I had one more video that was bad. It was like a 70K view video. And that really that stuff can crush me. I'm really bad at being mentally tough about having a video flop. I'm kind of more used to it now, where when it happens, it's like, oh, it happened. Or when your channel's doing worse, that's YouTube. Like, you got to keep going. But yeah, no, the start of Madden 22 was hard because you just my launch for Madden 20, or sorry, start of Madden 21 was hard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My launch for Madden 20 was so crazy. Like, I had videos just blow up, and Madden 21 that didn't happen. But I didn't put out good videos either. Like, I look back at them and I'm not proud of the work I put out at that time. So maybe it makes a little bit of sense. I think I'm gonna have a much better plan heading into this year. I'm gonna try to do more evergreen videos that'll get views over the course of the entire year. I have a few ideas for that.
Is that what you mean when you say an evergreen video? One that will just kind of be valuable at any time you want to go back to it?
Yeah, yeah. At least for the rest of that Madden. Yeah, I want to do a few more that way that will perform poorly at the start, and hopefully
you playing the long game on them though.
Try and do, yeah. That'll give me growth throughout the year. But yeah, I have a different plan for what I'm doing this year. So it's not set in stone yet, but I'm really excited for it. I'm worried because the viewer or the player base is so split between current gen and next gen. I'm really worried about that. I did a YouTube poll the other day that was 2/3 of people are going to be on like old gen or current gen, and it's like 1/3 gonna be next gen. That was my YouTube poll. It was 2/3. The Twitter.
I mean, they're kind of forcing some hands in making competitive on next gen. What do you think about it? Did you play any next gen at all? Well, I guess really the better question, did you get like hands on the play test, the playthrough?
I played one game on
I also almost played none of it.
A guy running U-trips to the wide side every play, and he threw at my inside third, and he actually like knew what he was doing. I don't know how. I beat him by a lot, thank God. So like it sat well with me. I was like, okay, that's my experience in Madden 22.
I'm okay with that.
I didn't get stopped, but like
right.
There was some stuff he was doing. I was like, whoa, this game's gonna be frustrating. Like, but I think they're gonna fix those inside thirds. They were bad. That was all I noticed on the first game, or not all, but that was the big thing I noticed. You could throw at them, like.
Yeah, I also only got maybe like 2-3 games. But what kind of considerations does that bring up for you as a content creator? Like, kind of like, you know, to ask the dumb question, like, what does it matter? Like, do you need to consider whether you're going to be putting out your content on current or next gen, and like how that overlaps with, you know, the competitive scene? I'm sure. Like, what are some things that you're thinking about or worried about with kind of how this is going to shape out between the gens next year?
I'm just gonna play whatever one gives me more like enjoyment or more fun, whatever's more fun. So like, and I guess being better at the game is more fun for me. So maybe that's the one that I'm better at. Maybe it's not. I had more fun in Madden 21, but Madden 20 I was better at. Like
fair point.
So maybe not, but and part of that could be views. Like if viewership's particularly better on one, that's possible. But it'll probably be next gen. It probably will be. I'm just assuming, because I'm assuming that's where every competitive player and then most of the content creators should be on next gen. Yeah. And it's kind of time we start trying to move forward with it, even if we don't, like, I don't love the changes, but I just want to have fun. That is literally all I care about. Because I just know the day that, like, Madden has already turned into a bit of a job for me. I don't play it for fun much anymore. I still do. I still have a little bit of me that's like, yeah, I want to play Madden. But if I lose that, oh, my job's going to suck. Oh, I don't want that. I just want to have fun and play the game that I enjoy. So I think I'm just fingers crossed that it's fun. That's all I care about.
And I think that'll have a lot to do with like the success that everyone has with it top to bottom. I mean, of course, I think, you know, we got good reason to be optimistic. Like I'm sure, you know, if and when you tap into any of the stuff that came out last night, like it seems like it's all good here. But like, are you feeling, not just with your stuff, but kind of like the community at large, are you feeling optimistic looking forward? Do you think, you know, we should maybe buckle up for another, you know, tougher of a year like everyone experienced in 21? Because, you know, of course, sorry to hear that you went through the shit in 21, but it seems like you were not alone in it for sure.
Though. I had awesome months and awesome times in 21. I still had a really good year for 21. It was just the start of it.
I got you. Yeah,
no, so I had a really good year.
So are you thinking it's then keep pace for, you know, 22 here and going on, or you think the, you know, community's in a good spot with, you know, our relationship with EA? Like, are you kind of liking the direction of the game overall here?
This is the most worried I've been about a Madden launch in a long time.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm really, really worried about it. I have to like force myself to be optimistic. The player base is so split. Next gen to me, I don't like playing. So if I don't like playing the game, that's gonna sound like a miserable year trying to stream.
Totally. So you think this is going to be a big obstacle, like the next gen to current gen thing? That's actually going to be.
I'm really worried about it.
Interesting. Do you think it'll be the I mean, it's got to be the last year that I was shocked. I thought for sure that they were going to come into this year, they would have one game for the PlayStation systems, one game for the Xbox systems, and the current gen systems would just load them slower, whatever, less bit rate, a couple less frames per second. Like that, that would have made, if you're not going to go, you know, cross-platform, which you should be at least thinking about that. But if you're not going to go cross-platform, it should at least be cross-generation. I was shocked when I learned that for the second year now, like I get it, I got it for this year. It was kind of like the only option. But I don't know, bro. I was surprised.
New game can't be run on old consoles with like all the extra people in the crowd and on the sidelines and stuff like that. But like, is that worth it? But then again, that's what the people on Twitter complain about. Like there's a huge aspect of the community. Like, look at the players on the sidelines. Yeah, fucking look at them. I don't care. Like, I just want the game to look good of what I can actually fucking see and play. No, it must be like they just can't play them. But that's so worrisome. Where MLB right now is like, you can play it on any console against any generation. Like they're all the same game. Yeah, it runs better on the new ones, but that's really, really, really worrisome from me, especially from a Twitch perspective, not a YouTube perspective.
Less fun to watch, do you think?
Me. What was that?
Is like less fun to watch, do you think?
I mean, if you're playing current gen, like still, and now everyone's playing next gen, like, I don't know, especially on Twitch, I feel like people kind of watch a little bit more for the gameplay than YouTube. Actually, it's not a little bit, it's a lot more for the gameplay on Twitch. There are people that aren't as good at the game and can be very good streamers, but
yo, did you have to point at the camera when you said that, or?
Oh yeah, I was pointing directly at you.
Yeah, was that maybe completely necessary, or I don't know? It's up to you, man. It's your show. It's your interview.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's how it works.
That felt cold. Okay, no, go.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I was definitely referring to you. But there are people on Twitch that, you know, maybe do more solo challenges or stuff like that, and still have, or like binder stuff, and still do really well on Twitch. So I don't know, but I think on YouTube it's not as important. It worries me from a Twitch perspective, though. If I was a current gen player, I wouldn't want to watch people play next gen, personally.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I would think that people are going to want to watch what they're playing, and you know that's a fair observation that it's just going to be another fracture. Like I say often that I think one of the best opportunities for like the Madden directory to kind of grow in size is, so like last night for the stream, I think there was like 7,500 people in there, when like, you know, of course it's the off season and whatnot, but the fact that they could pop 7,500 people is pretty dope. But you could go to my chat, for example, and another, you know, chat of 100 plus that's in the Madden directory, and see no overlap at all. Like a lot of these communities are completely mutually exclusive, which is kind of wild. And I think that, you know, the more that we can, whatever, like cross-pollinate and meet people, you know, network across the Madden, it'll just be more people spending time at once. Do you think, like, do you got any ideas on like what things you would like to see as far as growing the community, like point blank period? Like how can we get like some more bodies in seats? Do you feel like we're I know sounds like you're a little bit worried about Twitch, and we also talk about, you know, it's a domestic game, so you're a little bit limited there. You're not going to ever have the international appeal. Is there anything from your vantage point that, like, you know, we could be moving towards to grow the community?
Well, on Twitch, like what I would say is the biggest thing that I recognize or I see is none of the big Twitch streamers really do YouTube. Jeff Fox kind of does. None of the biggest YouTubers do Twitch. Right. If you look at like MLB or 2K, it's not, well, not necessarily 2K, but MLB particularly, it's not that way at all. The biggest Twitch streamers do YouTube and Twitch. I feel like I brought a lot of a different audience to YouTube when I came to Twitch, or like when I started streaming, because I was a YouTube person. So I think that obviously helped me a lot. Yeah, I did have that audience, but I think a lot of people didn't even have Twitch accounts and probably made one to watch me on Twitch that never watched Madden Twitch. Like,
sick.
see much of a way people can find it unless if they're playing Madden. They already have Twitch. I don't know, I guess, but like I think a lot of more casual people are on YouTube and don't even know Madden Twitch is a thing.
Yeah, true indeed.
We don't have many people that do both. I try not to worry as much about community stuff anymore. I think I used to. I do want to see everybody do really well, but like growing Madden on Twitch has kind of just become less of a priority for me now. I used to think it was cool, like to like let's grow it for all of us, like get more people in the directory. Now I don't really care. Like it's just like it's a number. I wish it was higher. I do.
True indeed.
Like I think we get kind of crushed by other sports games on Twitch, but
and I mean, to your point, it's like, you know, also the hyper focus on like a directory size over the course of like a long career like yours, like we were talking about before. You know, it's tough to give yourself these empirical values. Like numbers are so heavily, you know, involved and influenced in your gauge of your own success and others people's gauge of your own success. So I'm not surprised to hear that, you know, maybe it's not so much of a thing for you. When did the Twitch channel start like alongside YouTube for you? Like when was what was like streaming? Did streaming come before YouTube, or which order did it happen in for you?
It's YouTube and streaming, pretty much in every regard. Yeah, so like I've always done Twitch as like just a secondary thing,
right?
And my audience has pretty much always followed me from YouTube to Twitch.
So Twitch you started off like you started off with some momentum, then like you didn't have to hit Twitch and like really kind of like grind something out. I never had
Twitch issues, but well, hold up. I'm not a Twitch partner though. Like I'm not.
That was smart though. I didn't even realize that part of partnership is that you locked yourself in. And I like booted a multi-stream one day. I was like, fuck it. Like I'm booting up. Nah, you can't do that. Chat got. I was like, I mean, I'm gonna stream anyway. I might as well just put it in numerous spots, even if I'm, you know, not gonna be over there at all. No, cannot indeed do that. Is that why you're not? Because I'm obviously I'm not really.
I got rejected the one time I applied. Because I didn't stream enough for the month, and I had like 1,200 average viewers or something like that. And I got rejected. I was like, oh, they don't mess around. Like I was like a little bit like privileged going into it. I was like, these fucks are like really good. They're gonna be begging me to sign on the dotted line.
I'm saying, bro, I'm shocked.
I got back an email. It's just like, you've been declined. And then I guess the other time was I've been declined twice actually, technically then, but then the other time when I was 100% gonna get like accepted because I actually streamed enough, I got suspended. I actually got an email like a week or two later that was like, you have been declined because your Twitch account like does not exist or is like suspended or like something like that. And I was like, okay, thanks, Twitch.
You don't actually have that account anymore.
I was gonna get declined here.
We have nowhere to put that part. We have nowhere to put that check mark. It's that's not a real thing anymore, bro. I think you gotta own the story though. Instead, I feel like you gotta swing it that it was a shrewd business move to maintain your fluidity between YouTube and Twitch. Come on, man. We could let that be written, right?
Dude, I think there's a little bit of and I'm excited to have the check mark. Like it's just cool having a check mark, but I really want to go to TwitchCon and be like with the Twitch partners. I couldn't even go to a Twitch partner party right now. But and then the other part of me, dude, I think it's a little bit of a flex to not have a check mark. I blend the fuck in Twitch streams. If you like go look, like I have nothing next to my name. It's cool. Sure. I think it's, and I guess I could take it off, but I like just being like, yeah, I'm just an affiliate.
It's good though. I remember the first time you came into the chat, I got the follow alert first. The thing popped up. It was like throwing YT. I was like, and I think I said, I was like, I wonder if that's the throwing. You typed in the chat and I looked at like the color of your name. I was like, I recognize that pink anywhere. That's motherfucking throne.
I love the little pink name. But yeah, no, I think that there's a little bit of a like, I take a little bit of pride in not being a partner too. Being a partner doesn't mean jack shit, like at all. It really doesn't. No. My thing, this is like, I don't know. It's probably gonna come out arrogant. I word things so poorly sometimes.
Let it rip.
It probably matters to me, okay? Because I can negotiate a better split. I could literally go to Twitch and get more money for my subs. Yeah, it probably matters to me actually for me to be a partner. And I don't even want it that bad. So why the fuck do you want to be a partner?
Yeah.
Like honestly, I know it's a cool thing and it's really great and you tweet it out and everyone says congrats, but a lot of the people that saying congrats aren't even in your Twitch chat anyway. So it's like, are you trying to, I don't know. Do you want to impress people that, I don't know, aren't really a part of your community? Like it's cool. I don't fucking know. I don't get it. But
and I'm super frequently running across conversations that, you know, folks are having like, yo, does anyone actually know what happens when you become partner? And like some people who don't know will pop in where they're like, well, it's a better money split and you get better placement in the directory. And I'm like, and you like, actually, no, there's support channels that I've never used. It's definitely a flex and it's dope. I mean, like you were saying, it's definitely dope. So I think it's for most times worth doing, but no extra money other than it kind of being an ego flex. Practically speaking, it does nothing for you whatsoever.
Yeah, no. It's like, I don't know. It's like tons of people are into WWE. I guess see why people are into it, but I'm just
I don't.
Not.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take that one step further. I don't get it. I deadass don't.
Get it?
No, I don't get it. No, I don't. Bro, it's
movies.
Of course I watch movies, but it's like, I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna tune into a C-list movie like on purpose, like deliberately. You know what I'm saying? It's like good enough. I don't know. Nah, dude, I can't.
You're gonna upset a lot of people with that.
I think there's gonna be a riot in the chat on that. I think
very likely. Definitely will be.
Yikes.
There definitely will be. But that's the way I can kind of see why people would get I want to be partner, but there are no tangible benefits to that. There are none really actually.
It's kind of unfortunate.
I guess so. I restreamed when I did my charity stream. I was able to actually stream on both, which was cool. Yeah, but like now there's no purpose. I would be a partner if I could be, but I'm just not. It's not important, guys.
What's more important though, the charity stream, bro, that was hyper successful. How did you get that going? How did you put that thing in motion? Because that was fucking epic. I mean, I'll say it so you don't have to. That was in a legendary caliber W. How did this come about?
Thank you. I think I learned a little bit about myself. I think I'm more. I knew I'm pretty selfish. I'm more selfish than I originally thought I was. I think I'm pretty freaking selfish already. I felt like it did poorly, and it actually disappointed me. I felt like I didn't do a good enough job. But I think a lot of the reason I thought that was was less about the dollar amount we were actually donating. It was more that I wanted to do a good part, and when it didn't perform as well as last year's. It actually performed about half as good. My viewership was really poor for it, and then we didn't raise as much. And I felt like I put a lot of effort into it. But at the same time, we still raised $10,400 some dollars, to donate to Mental Health America, which is awesome.
It's incredible.
And that's where my value should be. But
I understand.
A little bit of me felt like I did worse, and that's not what it's about at all. I wanted to put on a cool event that I felt like didn't end up being as good as the year before. So I actually was a little bit disappointed. I did one in Madden 20 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I'll pretty much always do. I know you're a huge mental health advocate, and that's
for sure
the best thing on the planet. I'm trying to be as transparent about my mental health these days to people. I try not to hide anything anymore. But I'll always do a mental health focused one. But I felt like we didn't do as good, or I didn't do as good of a job.
I mean, it's just this recurring theme that and of course not just you, but a lot of folks who have to look at these empirical gauges of their success. I mean, bro, I know we just met today and it's been fucking dope sitting here talking with you, but you got to take my word for it, man. $10,000+ you synthesized for no other reason other than it was the good thing. I think you do deserve to feel proud and strong about that without, circumstances. I would highly doubt, just based on what very little I know about you in the terms of, the course of the conversation, that you did any bit less from year after year. It was a less quality production, or any way that you might be inward looking and for anything but positivity, I think is a little misguided. But I feel like you deserve to feel really fucking strong and really proud of that. I don't know if the comparison year over year is necessarily fair, because you could even look at it as an aggregate. I mean, sorry to be if I'm speaking out of turn, but over the course of 2 years, it's this much. You increased the total value by whatever it was, 50+% that nobody else is doing. So, but I mean, obviously totally fair. And yeah, I appreciate you also being open here with us about your mental health. And like you said, I try to advocate and talk about mine very openly. Hopped on this stream earlier today. I certainly feeling a little bit distracted. Lost the cat that.
Ooh, did I just lose you? Yeah.
Good monies. My fault. No, I think we're good, boys. I think we're good.
You're good. You're good. Okay, I was worried. I thought your Twitch stream just went down.
No, I thought, yeah, that was close. My USB, everything on my USB dock resets once per stream.
Mine does a similar thing. My camera will freeze. I hate it.
It's like once per like outing on Streamlabs. So we are back. Beautiful. Mic is good, and Throne's audio is good. Beautiful. Okay, so before I was so rudely interrupted, on the topic of our mental health, and so in any case, trying to be as open and honest about it as you can. Do you, if you would be so kind as to share, do you feel like now, the point that you're at right this second, as we're talking to you right now, that your mental health is well managed? Is it more of a project?
It's about the worst it's been in my entire life.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's I don't want to say I guess the worst, but
you can
I'm
say
starting
the
to
worst if it feels
no. I try to be as open and honest with especially people on the internet about this, because I know there are a lot of people out there that struggle with it.
I agree.
A lot of the time,
thank you.
A lot of the time I think people will, and I say so many things that just come out wrong. So if I ever say anything that sounds like it's worded wrong, give me the benefit of the doubt that I just worded it incorrectly, rather than me being an arrogant assobble.
Let it rip and we can decipher.
I think a lot of the time, sometimes I look like I have things figured out. I have my career very, very figured out at 25. I do. Probably as objectively possible. I have my dream job. I do very well. I have a chance to set up my family and myself for a long time. If I'm able to hopefully work harder, I need to put a lot more effort into what I do on the internet. But I have a really cool opportunity with that. And so I think I look like I have things pretty figured out, and I'm an energetic person online. I'm definitely I'm not particularly, it's not like I'm in a super, how do I put this? Maybe I would just say the last 12 months has probably been about the worst 12 months. I'm doing okay-ish right now. I got on Lexapro about 4 months ago because I had really bad anxiety in public from a few experiences I've had. And every day, I was thinking I was going to die 10,000 times a day. And Lexapro, dude, I could have, oh my gosh, I was like a zombie. I could have been walking out in public naked with $10,000 above my head, waving it, and I would have had no anxiety with it. So it was polar opposite. So I got off that after a month, and I got on Wellbutrin, and that really straightened me out for a bit. In terms of I got really productive, and my life started to actually have structure. And then that it was around the charity stream actually when it kind of fell apart again, and I stopped uploading and started being nocturnal again. And so I don't know if it was just if it was actually maybe more the medication that helped me. I think it has, and I'm probably gonna stick on it because I think it has helped me. But there are definitely times where I'm no, it's still a struggle. I actually just started meditating. Oh my gosh, the best thing ever.
Bro, I hear this a lot.
Have you? So I've always, whenever I've meditated, I've done it with music or calming noises. I did it with a guided meditation on YouTube that reminded me of what I'm supposed to be thinking about, feelings of gratitude and what I'm looking forward to, and envisioning myself and living in the present as well. And would even remind me if you're letting your mind wander, bring it back. I'm oh, my mind was wandering. I was thinking about, I was thinking about throwing bench pivot to the sideline over a 25-yard cloud flat.
We're getting dotted by level sail.
Yeah, getting dotted by level sail, and he's just guest passing right every down. What am I supposed to do?
It hurts.
But I'm getting quick hike my brain in. Dude, it was the best thing ever. I would highly recommend to everybody. Type in a guided meditation on YouTube. It can be 12 minutes. Dude.
Hell yeah.
Take that time. I just recently started that, and oh my gosh, I've been in some of the best moods. I'm so excited to go meditate here in a bit. I didn't get time to do it because I'm just waking up. I just had my coffee and stuff. But
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go meditate here in a bit, and that's a huge one to me because I'm not particularly religious anymore. I used to be. A lot of people actually in the community probably look at me as being really religious, and I'm not. So I started to lose a little bit of hope in that. And then I would say even as things have gotten better, my mental health has almost gotten worse in terms I do have a comfortable living situation now. I have money. I graduated college $30. I have a stable job that I really enjoy. I have the best family ever. And I had even another family situation that's pretty much cleared up now. And as things, as I start to, and this is going to come, it comes from a position of privilege, but I guess I'm just trying to say the grass is always greener, and try to find value in other things. As I start to lose the true issues that I was oh, when that's done, I'll be happier. You know, when I have money, I'll be happier. When I have a comfortable situation, I'll be happier. When I have influence in the internet, I'll be happier. When like the other family situation I was going through that was really hard, like when that's done, I'll be happier, which I knew there was an end date for that. When any of them like were done, I wasn't happier. So I was starting to run out of things to look forward to. Yeah. So it's been huge for me to try to find my value in other things and what I actually value in life and what my purpose is, especially now that I'm not religious. What is my purpose here on this earth? And I have been able to be, you know, to be doing a lot better in that aspect. So for me to say it's the worst, I guess it's just, I'm just going through probably the roughest like period ever. But I would say I'm on a good trajectory right now. And that gives me hope. That gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful for you too, bro. And I share so many of these experiences with you, even starting with, you know, kind of having to medicate in different ways and talk to different people to feel, you know, to try to get that part of it right. And of course, that's like always ongoing for me. But I can also totally sympathize, you know, with this idea that as you remove it, the way you put it, like, okay, once I get this taken care of, like the kind of cloud will have lifted and things will look a little different, and this is the thing that's holding me back from feeling like the breath at the end of the thing, like the emergence from the tunnel. And you know, in a lot of ways, even really recently in my life, a long career that I had ended, and you know, I'm left picking up the pieces and, you know, feeling adequately, not adequately, feeling appropriately sad about some things. But now as I start to rebuild and I find myself, you know, now talking to you here in a house that I'm renting with, you know, I've recently paid off my vehicle, and you know, I'm doing something I really enjoy, and I'm meeting a lot of great people, and there's some momentum, and it's not as dark as it was. Like, I can sympathize with the spot that you're in now, just because, you know, some of those blocks for myself have been removed, and it's like, and it's still, it just doesn't feel like you've ever finished it, you know what I mean? And I love to hear that you're, you know, forward looking and picking up habits like meditation. I think you know, I do some of that, had always kind of got some of that with fitness, and, you know, being able to do that less, I'm looking for something. So I think that's a you know, a great thing for somebody to hear about, like a little trial and error. And, you know, it's not always going to be great, and somebody that you might rightfully look as admirable, and you want everything they have. Like, there's, you know, there's always going to be more to the story, and, you know, what it feels like from behind the curtain, it might not be so apparent and so obvious. But I think it's really important to hear from guys like you. I know we have the most access, and I always give this disclaimer, of course, mental health in young women is every bit as important, but just based on the fact that we have the most access to young men, I think it's really important for young people to hear from guys that, you know, yeah, you could get wild and toxic and yell at somebody and call somebody fucking moron, and get dotted, and we can laugh at that too. But, you know, it's the same types of personalities that can have really relatable experiences and journeys, and, you know, kind of always trying to get it right. So I think it's dope that you're so open. I think you're doing it right. I think that's part of the, you know, you're part of the solution rather than the problem. So I certainly applaud you for that, bro.
You know, I appreciate that. You know, I applaud you as well, and your openness about it. And I pretty much agree and want to echo everything you basically just said. Social media is you get it, or like you're seeing people's highlights. Everyone says it, but like, it's so true. Like, you're not seeing their true life, like what's actually happening. Like, people don't know my relationship with my family or my friends or anything, which, by the way, I have the best family and best friends ever. Hell but yeah. They don't know, like, anything could be wrong, and they just don't see that. And there are things that are wrong that this chat doesn't see. Thankfully, I don't have girl problems right now. That's one thing that I think, like, I sit here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a time right now where I'm just trying to get as good and as strong and like as decent just as myself, because I dated someone in college. I dated a girl on and off for 4.5 years, and we've been done for almost 2 now. And so I've really enjoyed being single, but it's been really challenging trying to get myself to be in a good spot that I could be in a relationship and go through a breakup and it not ruin me again. So, and, you know, girl trouble is so bad. So I sit here sometimes and I'm like, man, when I'm like down or like something like that, thank God I'm not having to like, I'm not wondering whether like my girlfriend still loves me or like something like that.
On top of all this other shit that I'm feeling. Yeah, true indeed.
Other shit. Like,
because some of that could be the worst.
Gosh. Dude, right now that's what makes me so happy in being single, is it's just me. And there are like bad parts about that, is obviously like I'm kind of like right now I'm doing life by myself for the most part.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that too. And you know, to not have that unnecessary drama is really, really great. So hopefully we'll see. I'm definitely open to getting in a relationship right now though. I'm starting to get like close. I'm trying to do better myself. I've been like reading self-help books and stuff like that. I actually have bad social anxiety, something I don't tell really anybody ever. So I've been trying to get better with that. That started pretty much like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, mine started late too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just once I got out of like being in environments where I was around lots of people, or like comfortable environments. I don't know, because I grew up in my life just always in a comfortable environment.
Totally.
And now I'm like moving, and I don't necessarily try to avoid doing those things, but like I hate going to new Chipotle's because I don't know where the line starts. So like, how can I overcome little fears like that in life that like just keep me from doing things like daily activities, which sounds so fucking stupid, by the way. And if you're in the chat and you have bigger problems and you're hearing me talk about little problems like that, I'm sorry, but I know a lot of people do deal with that, and I want it to be known, like I do too. Like I talk to a lot of people through this like camera right here. Yeah. And I'm not the world's greatest with people, not at all. And I'm an introvert, like, yet a lot of people watch me, they think I'm an extroverted person. I even saw someone in the chat, they're like, yeah, the vibes are down, but when Throne gets here, it's gonna be so happy, like it's gonna be so great. I was like, fuck, like that's how you view me? That's cool. Yeah. But I don't view myself that way. But you know, I don't know.
It's important for perspective, bro. It really is important for perspective, and it's a good reminder that there will always be the human being behind the content, behind the entertainment to some degree. Like, you know, you're going to be, you know, Throne may well be feeling and looking and operating much differently than, you know, Taylor is at the time. And, you know, I think that's it's important to remember that. And like kind of, you know, I don't know if I sound super fucking flimsy, but I'll say it anyway. Like, literally just remember that, like, everyone could be going through some shit at the time. And, like, and I know you mentioned, like, and of course, and I would echo that sentiment. I even felt weird talking about, like, the cat so much and making a thing about the cat. You know, God forbid, may they rest in peace. I saw a post about somebody, you know, in the community that passed away the other day. And I was like, God damn, like, it's not that bad. But it's also important to, like, you can't, like, this is what my psychiatrist tells me, bro. By the way, this is not for me. This is from the professional. Like, you can't, like, you know, quantify or qualify, like, you know, levels of pain like that and give it like that secondary judgment of like, well, you know, it could be here I am worried about Chipotle, I could, you know, not have a next meal, like understood, but it doesn't make, you know, what you're feeling and you know, shit that you go through any less valid or important. And you know, so that from Dr. Kez, that's from Dr. Kez to Throne for free. I had to pay for that for you, so
I've paid for that too. I've actually started therapy. That's actually a huge thing I didn't even mention.
It's been huge for me too. You started recently?
Huge. Yeah, I started 3 weeks ago. I've had 4 sessions.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. You going weekly then?
I am. Yeah, I look forward to it. I had a life coach at one time that admittedly, and that was probably it was at the end of me being a Christian. It's like maybe that also had to do with it, but like I didn't look forward to that at all. It just fucking drained me.
Is this one of the first doctors you've seen? Did you have to like see a couple? Like I've been doing it, I'm sure as you have, I've been doing this for a long time. Like I've seen a couple, but like the lady I'm seeing now, like I feel like is like a good one and gets me. Do you feel like pretty good about the doctor over the first few sessions here?
So this is only my, you could say second or third if you include that last one as my therapist. I had maybe 2 or 3 sessions with a therapist in college before I moved to Chicago for an internship.
I got you.
And yeah, but so far I think she's a really good fit. My mom found her for me. My mom originally, when she was trying to find therapists for me, was sending me like 24-year-old like attractive women, and I was like, I'm gonna lie to this girl about like, totally. Like give me like a 40-year-old like woman that like I can look at as my mom that I can just say like whatever.
Bro, that's exactly Dr. Really Kez. That's exactly the situation I'm in right now, bro. And you're right, and that's part of the thing. You gotta find the one.
I have heard some guys though like having like like women their age like to talk to. I'm like, what the fuck? No way. No, I'd be like, I'd be like trying to like make myself look as good as possible. Yeah, like I actually like I'm here trying to better myself.
Yeah, right.
Like I was told therapy's a good thing, and I'm very open to it.
I got a great grip on everything. Right? Yeah, I just want to really get in touch with myself on a spiritual level. Man, shut the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. But like no, with the lady I have in this past week, I told her stuff that I would have never thought I would tell a therapist. Like just as transparent as possible that I never talk about.
I think that's huge. I think that really bodes well for your success because like that gives them the most access to try to help you out. You know what I mean? And I'm like fucking. I'm so. Like I'm regurgitating stuff that people have just been telling me. So I'm not saying that like I do the same thing. Like I'm also just recently finally accepted like talking to somebody just would help. It doesn't mean you can't handle your shit. It doesn't mean it means none of that. It doesn't mean you're soft. And it's like I hear so much of, well, I'm not really like, you know, the talking type. Like no, nobody is. Like nobody wants to be the talking type on some of this stuff. I think, you know, not to say anonymity, but I think, you know, the fact that it's not somebody that you're closely related to and the context that you're meeting these people in is conducive to opening up like that. And I think that gives them, you know, the tools to be successful with what they're trying to do. So like you spilled early on then, and I imagine that in and of itself felt good.
It did. There are times at the end of the session where I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was maybe a little bit draining in terms of like what I just like everything I said, but then draining. I feel so good when I'm like driving back. I really do.
So you've been able to do yours in person then? That's dope.
It's been like 50-50. She has kids, so it depends whether she said it'll be easier for her to get into the office when they're in school, but I would prefer person rather than Zoom. Zoom's been cool though. I actually don't mind Zoom. Originally I thought it would suck with a therapist, but it's still been good. Hasn't changed anything, but I would prefer to go there. That's a good.
Yeah, I would also prefer to go there. Yeah, mine's like kind of far away, so I've also been doing. It's Zoom, of course, is better than not going at all. And like you said, it's like I like that it's still personable. Certainly preferable to like a phone call. I've never done a therapy session that was like a phone call or anything like that. But like I even told like other day, I told my therapist, I was like, Dr. K, like I'm not trying to be this dude that like every single week is just like crying on your phone. And she was like, that is literally and only what this is for here. Like we have to figure this shit out. You have to unload on some of this to try to, you know, take apart the reasons on, you know, why you're feeling this way in the first place.
Why?
Like, why, bro? It's always a question.
Good.
Yeah.
I never think about that until I'm in therapy and they start looking for why. And I think I've found whys, which has been really cool. That is. And I'm only like 4 sessions in.
But like I know it's draining too, because it's like so consequential. Like finding out this shit and like kind of getting some answers. It's like it's heavy because then I feel like you have to kind of like pick apart like what that means now. Like after these revelations, in the meantime, in between times, has it been like kind of like tiring in that way for you?
I wouldn't say so. No. It's been for the most part. I think relieving. I think it's so relieving having like a little bit of a why. Sometimes I doubt myself and I'm just like, man, sometimes I just feel like fucked up. Like, is it just me? But then when I do start to realize there are things that have happened to me and that could be why. And even if it's not true, even that placebo, like it makes me feel better. Like knowing that no, it's something I've experienced and I'm a product of my experiences typically. But I would say also like, I don't know, perspective can also kind of help me wrangle some anxiety. And like we were talking about, you know, everyone's struggles are different, and I completely agree. And like there is no judgment in whatever you are struggling with, but there are times too where if I can like have some sort of perspective on what I'm dealing with and like kind of I can kind of bring myself back down to earth and like stop spiraling, where I'm like, dude, this is not a big deal. Like Taylor, walk into the Chipotle, you've been sitting on your phone for like 15 minutes out here. Like it's like little stuff like that I struggle with personally. And I don't know. It's intriguing. I feel like, you know, it's weird. I feel like right now I have my life. It's the most figured out it's been, dude, in terms of tangible things. But up here, it's not. But I am on a good trajectory.
I mean, just habitually. I mean, you got to look at your super recent history that you were, you know, so generous to share with us. I mean, the therapist is one piece, picking up a habit like meditation. Second piece, you know, being available and open and honest, you know, and transparent, translucent with some of the things that you're feeling. I said it before, but that's a super dub. I mean, it might feel like, you know, the building blocks are all over the floor right now, but like I feel like you've identified the blocks. You know what I mean? I feel like they might be, you know, kind of scattered out right now. And again, as somebody that, you know, this is our first conversation. Like we just met, you know, an hour and a half ago. So I certainly don't mean to speak at a turn in any way, but just, you know, with what you've shared with me, it seems like you said, the trajectory is fucking to the moon, bro. Taylor to the moon, thrown to the moon.
Yeah, it's the first time I've definitely felt hopeful in that regard. So even times where I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm definitely like a little bit hopeful, which is really cool. And I wouldn't be saying that if I wasn't.
I can
try to be I'm trying to be as honest as I can with myself. My therapist also tells me I need to talk better about myself too, though, which is like the first thing I told her. I was like,
mine does too.
But see the way I talk to these kids I play Madden against, like
fucking idiots.
I think everyone thinks I'm the most arrogant person on the planet, and I've started to like ingrain that in my head, which I'm definitely like I can be way too self-centered
for sure.
But I definitely need to start preaching a little bit more like positive self-speak as well.
Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm really glad that was one thing I really wanted to talk about coming on to here. Was at least my struggles with mental health, and that they aren't figured out, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
totally okay.
And I'm honored that you know, you felt good, and I think it's going to be super well received by the community that you were able to be you know, open as you were, and I appreciate that, you know, you felt comfortable and confident enough with me to share it with me too, because that's I mean, that's the best case scenario for me, because like you said, like, you know, I've spent the time, you know, I've done the inpatient work, I've really, you know, seen the depth, so it's so refreshing, somebody like you who's being available like that. I'm trying to do the very same thing, so, you know, there's no pressure on it, but it's another aspect by which you're leading from the front here, bro, for sure. So great job, and I applaud you big time for it. And bro, so as we turn the corner here, I mean, you know, unexpected, I would say, an unexpected, you know, conversation here, bro. The depth of your
Nick Miscosco right now.
Holy cow! Yeah, we might have to pop in on Nick Miscosco there, huh? Legendary bomb in the channel. Crazy, Nick. Thank you so much for the 25 piece here, bro. I'm gonna pop in and see what you guys think about the conversation. If before I was so rudely interrupted by a 25 fucking laser bomb by Nick Miscosco. Thank you, man. You're an absolute legend. Holy cow. Wait, 50? Wait. Did he do that twice?
Did he do it twice? I don't know. Yeah, it was, I guess. Big Cap would know better than anybody. He knows everything about everything. I don't know if you knew that. That's also a thing. He did do that twice? He does. Big Cap does know everything about everything. Oh, shoot. My camera's frozen. This is what I'm talking about.
See that, bro? Now we're even. Look at amateur hour top to bottom. Let's go, baby. Come on. At least I'm not alone in the thing. Time. Hell yeah, right. But bro,
whenever I pull up different tabs.
Before I was so rudely interrupted by Nick Miscosco, the legend, man. As we, you know, wrap this thing up, I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you again so much for being flexible with the thing. What can we look forward to?
You can take as much time of mine as you want, by the way. Like, that is not a big deal. I want you to know. Like, but obviously, I'm also respectful of yours. So, like, if you have other things you need to get to or whatever, or, like, the conversations, you've gotten to most of it. Just take your time. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in a rush. Man.
Good. That means a lot. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like holding you up from anything like this. But so what I was going to ask is now looking forward. You have a foundation of habits, maybe not feeling like, you know, the grip is all the way there. We're coming up on Madden 22. It's a, you know, nerve-wracking time of the year for everybody. I would imagine, you know, you just the same. Do you have like, you know, kind of like a startup plan, like a couple moves that you're going to make, like to start off the year on the 11th in whatever country you might be reporting live from, so that you can get on at the 11th. And Nick with another 25, but New Zealand, that's right, New Zealander. I don't know if you knew Throne. He was trying to tell you about where he was from earlier. He was lying. A New Zealander. Nick, man, absolute legend, dude. 25 again to get to 90 total. I'm going to read them all as soon as we get off the show here, Nick. Fucking legendary move. You're spamming Mandy's too. Big love in the channel. But your approach, bro, your approach to Madden 22. You got like a preliminary plan that you could share with us, or are you going to kind of wing it a little bit?
I'll have video ideas. I'm going to try not to be very structured with when they're going to like be released. I'm really confused about what my day one plan is. That's the biggest thing that I need to sit down and figure that out. How am I spending my 10 hours of EA play?
Do you think we'll be able to, you know?
I mean, we always do.
Yeah, we always do.
But when is the year when it's not going to be that way?
I know. Is it this one? You can't ever know.
I do not.
They're going to fix it eventually.
So what am I going to do? If my 10 hours runs out? Oh my gosh.
You got to chalk it, bro. Got to call it a year.
Share with me.
Yeah,
all the game changers out there. I have some under the table money for you. Just game share.
Help me.
Get rid of some pre-launch anxiety of mine. So I don't have to wait till
he's gonna run the golden ticket play again, bro.
Till the 10-hour mark, the 11-hour mark. Like, I don't know whether I'm gonna be able to get more until a method comes out.
Facts, dude.
Oh my gosh. So
yikes.
Maybe, yeah, no. So I want to get the full version of the game as early as possible, so that can just be gone. But then again, there's a little bit of me that's like, am I gonna try current gen at all? I don't think so, but am I? So I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my time. A little bit of me, or I need to play the game a lot more. I didn't play it this past year. I've actually been at like, my mental's been bad for the past 2 launches.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm really hoping this time, because like right now I've kind of got nothing like tangible holding me back. So if I can't grind and like have a good launch this time, like I got nothing but myself to blame. Like,
listen here, bro. Listen here, man. Therapists will be proud of me. We're not fucking talking like that, okay? We're not doing that. We're gonna talk nice. We're gonna be kind to yourself. You got
sorry.
This all
I am
the way
gonna have
control.
an awesome launch.
You are gonna have an
awesome
awesome
I've got
launch.
awesome
That's right.
things. Yeah, I've got great things planned.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. What's like the schedule gonna be like? Can we expect daily uploads? We
can expect daily on my second channel.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I definitely want to. I really do want to try to grow as much as I can early this year. This past year, I didn't grow much in August, and then definitely didn't grow in September. I didn't grow till the end of September, and then that month I grew in October, even though I didn't upload because I had good videos from September. And then my November, December was really great, and then it just kind of Madden 21. But you know, I do want to get off to a better start than last year. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to plan, but I have ideas.
Fair enough. And you'll be able to freestyle it successfully too. And kind of like on the note of like getting something started, I guess this is like an obligatory question that I gotta ask all of you guys. And I guess the answer might be a little bit different from you, because the question is going to be like, you know, suggestions for somebody, you know, at the doorstep of content creation that wants to get a little something drummed up for themselves, get something going. I know you didn't have to go through like the Twitch grind in the same way because you converted your YouTube audience over. I also know, you know, just based on the story you told, that it's like, it's not like you know, of course, nobody does. It's not like you had it figured out from second one. There was, you know, the COD years and the time off and everything in between. And then you had your big video come Madden 20. But like, you know, I guess even on the YouTube grind, content creation in general, you know, you got any ideas or maybe priorities that a smaller creator should, maybe priorities or values is the best, you know, any guidance for somebody on the doorstep of what you're trying to do here?
Dude, it's really hard. It's really hard to give guidance on this.
For sure.
I like to point people in the right directions of right channels. So if any of you guys have good like questions, I can try to point you in the directions of channels that have given me really good inspiration for doing YouTube and Twitch. The biggest thing to me is just like one thing I think that's important to me is that if you want to do content creation, please don't just boot up a Twitch stream. Please do not just do that. You're just going to be wasting time.
Yeah.
We need to try to get an audience elsewhere, or else that grind in the Twitch directory, that sounds miserable. Like, you may not, it may not work out. Yeah.
Right.
You're just playing video games. You're not really streaming in that aspect, in my opinion. But I would say try your best to get content on discoverable platforms. YouTube and even TikTok can be of some sort of resource. I'm not sure how valuable it is in terms of conversion. Me and Civil have been trying to figure that out lately, but
yeah, that's a hotter take. That's a hotter take than most people seem to be in consensus that like TikTok is like, you know, the new gold mine for where you're going to convert an audience over from. And I'm also, I mean, I don't know, my shit sucks, but I mean, I at least have one now. I'm 31 years old, feeling silly out here on the TikToks, bro. Fucking absolutely clueless. But maybe not your take. You're seeing less conversion over.
I don't know how much it actually converts. I really don't. I see some people that are pretty big on TikTok in our niche or similar niches that don't convert very well, but maybe they're maybe it's different things they're there for.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I know I have, I think, 114,000 followers on TikTok on like 30 posts. So like in terms of discoverability, crazy. Like of course.
Fast.
Eyes on it. It's trying to figure out how valuable that is. So I'm gonna experiment with YouTube Shorts as well, which I know everybody is, but I need my I need to see what that looks like this year as well, because I have a feeling that could convert to YouTube a lot better than TikTok. So I need to see what that looks like. But yeah, no, discoverable content. There are so many resources out there these days. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to give like advice.
No, I think that's reasonable. You can, and you also, I mean, you kind of got to like stumble through the path like on your own, like in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna look all different, like on the walk up to it. Like yours will look different than the next guy's. But I think discoverable. You have so many options now. You have numerous platforms by which you can like start something and branch and spill over, you know, to other ones. I've like, you know, kind of put my flag down on Twitch, I guess, and you know we're a small fish in the medium pond of Madden now, but like, you know, I'm trying to spill over to YouTube and, you know, learn as much as I can about how to manipulate that stuff, because it's like getting from, I think, was it Zerk that said it? Somebody said like getting from like 0 to 1,000 subs is way more difficult than getting from like, you know, 1,000 to 5 or something like this. It's like just this like really fucking getting off the ground thing. You got to provide something worthwhile, and it's like kind of been the idea with the FENDTALKS. It's not, I'm not working any algorithm magic. Like I'm not probably posting at the right time of day or with like the right tags or whatnot. I'm just like hoping against hope that there is still value in actual good content. And I don't know, man. Do you think there is? Am I going to be forced? Am I going to get cut down to having to do algorithm magic with like fiery, feisty thumbnails, or like is there room for like good fucking shit or not? Be honest, bro. That's why I'm asking. You got to do a little bit of the algorithm magic, huh?
I mean, a little, but like that is part of like what makes it good too.
True.
Is it like being clickable? I mean, you don't need arrows, but they're gonna help. Like,
true indeed.
You don't need to show yourself, you know, with your mouth wide open, freaking out, but it's probably gonna help. Like,
O face is tight.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I do still think like for the most part, I think good content rises to the top, especially on YouTube. Civil's in the chat, and we'd both say it. Like, if you upload like 50 straight or 100 straight really good videos, there is no way in hell you don't blow up. Like, blow up. There's no way you don't get an audience. There's just no way. It's discoverable enough. Like, and maybe it's harsh. You can blame it on YouTube if you want, but like, I think you got to be a really, really harsh critic of yourself. Always. I think I'm a really harsh critic of myself when it comes to that, and that's one thing that I'm kind of lucky to have. Is I've never, I don't think I've ever really blamed individual social medias for my doing worse. I think a lot of the blame typically falls on myself. Now, granted, we did just talk about Madden falling off. That's just a fact. Like, you can look at it. It's across the board for everybody.
Right.
So I actually don't think I'm doing as bad as it looks, because in comparison to my peers, I'm right at that same level.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah, but I think I'm pretty hard on myself in that regard. I think you really need to be. You need to be able to look at something and be like, that's ass.
Yeah,
this video is bad. Like, I just spent hours recording this video. I spent hours trying to record to get gameplays. End of the year, I've kind of stopped trying because it takes so long. But I typically spend hours trying to get a good game for YouTube. It's like a lot of people will be like they'll play me, be like, oh, is that going on YouTube? Like, no, probably not. Like, it wasn't a very entertaining game. In my opinion. It's like, I spend a lot. I feel like it's an important thing for a creator to be able to look at something and be like, yeah, this wasn't that great. I'm not going to upload it. Because the second you start like putting out uploads that are worse, like, you have a consistent viewer that was watching and really enjoying your good videos, and then they come across one that they watch the whole thing and they're like, that was 18 minutes and kind of a waste of it. Or like, yeah, that was mediocre. Are they going to come back for the next one? Like, how many more until they stop coming back? I don't know. So I try to, and that's my purpose with the two separate channels. I try my best to have it as every video you're going to come back. And that does scare me a little bit with the evergreen content I'm going to do in the beginning of the year. That's probably going to be more tip based. Because I don't think that's going to hit my main audience, but I still think it's going to help me. But yeah.
And it's just like off the meta.
You need to be able to look and be like,
it's not the same video that you're seeing at, you know, a method comes out, you can probably name a dozen names. They're going to have a video that of about the same length, of about the same content. And I think one of the, one of the things that you do really well, part of it is your, the big personality, like the, just thrown, you doing your thing as a showman. But it's like, there's a separation there. Like, it's not like just like the same old shit. And I just see a lot of people trying to make their break on just the same old shit. And I never think that's it.
No, it's so much harder because then you have to be better than the people that are already established. It's way easier to be different.
Facts.
It's way easier to be different than better. Like,
right. That's a great point. That's a soundbite. I like that one. Way easier to be different than better. It's true indeed.
Well, it's not necessarily like in mine though. Like, I've heard it many times. Like, you can compare it to like every industry. Like the industry I always hear it compared to is like coffee. Like how there are so many, like, it just depends what you're looking for. Like, there are like actual like, hipster coffee shops with like pour overs, and then there's like Starbucks that like it's completely different. And then I have a Keurig in my other room as well, which also serves purpose. That is the lowest quality of coffee you can get because I fill it up with water from my sink because I'm too impatient to fill it up with the actual water.
Me too.
From the
it's
fridge.
Going in there all calcium-y, bro. It's like white crust around the lid and stuff. It's bad.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so it's, and like, I don't know. I just think there's more value in being different than good, or it's easier to be different than good or better.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Yeah. So what's your niche? Figure that out. Why would people want to watch you? And if you can make good content, you're going to succeed.
Gems. Bro, man, the objective with these Fen Talks is always to kind of like get at as base of the person as we possibly can and as they allow. And I said it before, man, but I'm super grateful that, A, that you had the time to spend with us, B, that you were able to be flexible, and C, that like the content of our conversation, like I don't know what I expected. And it just goes to show me, right? Like you can't judge a book by its cover. And literally the exact point of what I'm trying to do here is show the differentiation between the personality and the human being. And in like being absolutely successful here, I'm sitting here like, man, that didn't necessarily go as I expected, but it was like every bit of like what I hoped it could be. And that's a fat W for me and for the show here. I think I got Emily inbound like before too long. I've already taken, and I appreciate it. I know you said you got time to spend with us, but closing in on 2 hours of your time today, bro. Before I let you go, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to touch on, or any bits for the chat, any sign off for the congregation, or anything that we missed in our conversation here, bro?
Yeah, no, I feel like I look back at it and I'm like, oh, there's so much like I could have like said about like certain topics, but I'm really happy we had the opportunity to talk about the things we did today. And I'm really glad at least you're able to say that, I don't know. Yeah, no, I could be definitely a bit different like here than I am on YouTube and Twitch. I understand that. I wouldn't say that it's a different person. It's more of an exponential version of myself. That's me at my like, when I'm in a mood, like
it's you at your most.
Like, and you can see that version of me like when I'm not recording still. But it's not me when I'm sitting here doing an interview. Like, I'm not gonna it's not who I am. Like, I'm a lot more introverted than that. No, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to you and talk about some things that are really important to me. And I felt like, I had a great time. I appreciate the chat being here. I've seen you guys. I've been reading it the whole time as we've been
going nuts all day. I got to. I wanted to be fully focused, locked in, but I'm looking forward to checking in over there with them, seeing who's around. Yeah, bro. I mean, such valuable perspective from somebody I know I admire personally. I know the community admires greatly, and never more so than right now. At the tail end of the conversation we just had. I mean, you did a great fucking job. There's no, you have a lot of support and a lot of people who are rooting for you and will, show up for you anytime. But man, keep leading from the front. You're doing everything right. It was a pleasure, bro. Pleasure and an honor. It was great to meet you, man, for real.
I appreciate that. And same to you. It was really great to I feel like we've known each other, but I didn't we haven't gotten to actually speak to each other, which is kind of crazy. I felt like I've known you for a while, but
we jumped both feet into it too, didn't we, bro? Almost 2 hours. Hey, good to meet you, bro. You got want to fucking talk one-on-one for a better part of 2 hours?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah. Hell yeah. And same with your chat. But no, there's been nothing but love there. When I've gone on other streams, I know they're different types of atmospheres. Like, if I go on like Gutfox's stream, the den comes at my throat. Like,
I bet they would have feeded you to death, bro.
Gosh.
They would have feeded you to death.
Like that takes a toll on my mental health. You want to talk about something that takes a toll on it? Like, I don't think trolls get under my skin, and then I go like there, and I say like one thing, like last year when I said Gunslinger probably should be more AP. It's the best ability in the game.
Yo, like, you shouldn't have said that shit.
Yeah, I turned into I was the Joker. Like, I was the worst villain on the planet. Like, they came at my freaking throat. That was rough. I was like, guys, I'm not a bad guy. Like, I promise. It's just an opinion.
All right, so the congregation. So y'all stick up for our boy Throne. If you see him out here in the wild getting fucking brutalized, we'll take up for you, bro. We got emotes too. We got a whole we got the whole pal. We got the partner palette of emotes. That's only W of partnership. I got all the emotes, and we'll flood them for you, bro. We gonna hold you up just the same, Throne.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. Thank you, chat. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
My pleasure, bro. I'll catch you next time, man. Thank you again, Throne. Peace, brother.
Yeah, of course. Take it easy.